Hi, it's Yvette Shepherd from Ankh Healing and Wellbeing. I'm a QHHT practitioner, angelic Reiki practitioner, spiritual manifestation life coach and midwife. I've jumped on today. I want to pass some information on to you from a number of sessions that I've had with my very good friend Caroline Lowings, my soul sister and colleague. She's had 4 sessions in total over the last year. And 3 of those sessions have been for surrogate sessions for her father. We actually came, we were doing a session and light beings came through, and we didn't realise the significance of that until one of the sessions, but I'll let you have that information in a minute or two. So Caroline's father was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. It was also affecting the liver, and the tumour around the liver was quite extensive around one of the main arteries. So although the doctors offered to operate on the colon, they needed to see if they could somehow shrink the tumour that was around the liver in order to try and operate safely. Caroline's dad was given 4 to 6 months to live. And so Caroline was very keen to have a surrogate session for her dad. He went ahead and had the colon cancer. He had the operation for that, so he had that removed. And then the hospital were keen to see him back shortly after that. So Caroline came for a session where when she first was orientating herself, she was actually a blue energy. We now know from other sessions that actually she's from the Pleiades, and that is actually linked to the blue energies there. When she came through, she didn't have a body. She felt that she was from a planet of pure light. She was helping planet Earth and watching the planet. And she said that there were many of them communicating. There are many of us communicating. And she was telling me how difficult it is to communicate with humans. And actually it was far easier to send the information and communicate with the trees and animals. And she had a very intrinsic connection to the trees. That was very, very evident. And I said, who are helping? Who is it? Who's there? And she said, we are highly evolved light beings from a planet of light. The information that we're transferring is needed for humanity to raise the frequency of the planet and to raise the awareness. And they got quite a bit of a sense of humour. They said, Caroline knows much, but she ignores much also. And they gave Caroline lots of information how she could expand her awareness and move forward, which was brilliant. In this session, after speaking to light beings, we asked to speak to Caroline's superconsciousness, and we asked if it was appropriate and if it was possible to do a surrogate session for her father, and they said yes, this is possible. They made the connection. They explained why he'd created this cancer within his body, and how the lessons could be learned there. We then asked if they could do healing, and they said yes. And so they put lots of light around him and sending light. They connected with him. I asked if there was any message for Lightworkers at the moment, because quite a lot of us have got quite a job on trying to awaken humanity. And they said the message for Lightworkers: you must realise how needed, how special, how required you are. You are existing above the 3D. You are facilitating the energy. You must continue the work required. You must continue to expand. Expansion is necessary for connection, for reaching out and drawing it in. As a semiosis, it happens equally in a circular motion. The more you expand, the more you draw in. So the next session that we had with Caroline, I'm sorry, that was a quick one. I'm just going to go through really quickly because there is 3 sessions here and we get to the really important information. So we had another session in August. in between, so Caroline's father had been to the hospital and they wanted to see if there'd been any shrinkage of the tumour or anything to enable them to be able to offer an operation, and they couldn't find it. It had completely gone, which was just outstanding, amazing. So we had another session, and this time Caroline felt the energies come in straight away. We asked who we were speaking with, and they confirmed it was the Council of 12 Light Beings. They gave us a message that those living above the 3D require bravery, no fear, do not worry about reactions. Only those who are needed to hear the message will hear the message. Those not requiring to hear the message will dismiss it. They do not care, they are not ready. You can't make them ready. It's more important to keep your frequency at a level where those needing to hear you can hear your message. They will then know how to be able to tune in to such a message and will be guided to your light at this time. It is slow here. Got a sense of humour. They're talking about where we are, which is sort of like a little village, you know, in a small town in the outback somewhere. Yes, it is. It is slow here. It is important for us as light workers to remain in high frequency. There are those beings who are stuck. They are blocked and need assistance. If our frequency is high, then our light shines brighter and they can find us. We recently went to Stonehenge, and Caroline wanted to ask about some experiences that I had there as well. So I asked the Council of 12 that I recently went to Stonehenge with 60 5D light beings, QHHT soul brothers and sisters, my colleagues from all over the world. Did something happen with the energies there? The energies were phenomenal, and I felt that something happened but didn't quite know what or understand it. The answer, excuse me, the frequencies are high. As we travel, you create a vortex where frequencies and energies can enter. There is an awareness at this place, Stonehenge, that there is already high energy. As you travelled, you attracted more energy in. The energy must ground itself. It must manifest itself, and that is what happened there. And I asked if there was any significance to the crop circles that occurred close to Avebury the following day. The answer: the energy created needs to be grounded. It grounds in a message. It's a message that is recognised by humans, so that is why it grounds in those ways. They were ancient symbols being used that were created by the vortex. We are trying to find a way that you understand. We are trying to find a way that you will understand us speaking to you, because you have created an energy vortex and you have allowed the energy through in a much bigger way. The energy must ground itself in a message from us to you, and it is most like when we speak to you as individuals, we can speak in numbers. Many of you understand that. Some of you understand symbols and some understand music. So when the energy is so big, so huge, we use symbols to ground that energy into her. When I asked her, they were talking about Gaia. So I asked, with this energy grounded, how will it affect the planet? How will it affect Gaia? The response: she is grateful. Gaia is grateful for the energy. At this point, Caroline had a tear running down the side of her face. When you channel, you can see when people come back to energy, and they can see how all of creation exists. The earth and how she is, her beauty and how she is created. She is grateful for the energy. She is grateful for the energy replenished back to her through love and knowing and gratitude and appreciation of all that she provides. The ignorance is saddening, but it is lessening. There is a switch everybody has. Every single person has a switch. When they reach that switch, they will see. It's like a veil that lifts. It is very sudden. There are some who are born who can see. Some learn early. For many, the programming is so strong and the filters are too strong. The universal energies, They are always helping. How can we help Gaia further? You must be aware of expansion and awareness, and creating open-mindedness and acceptance of all things. Even what seems insignificant to one is important to another. There must be an acceptance of this fact and an awareness that must expand consciously and continuously. We then asked for a full body scan of Caroline, which was complete, and we asked again if it was possible to do surrogate healing for her father. We knew that healing had taken place previously, and that on the scan it had showed that the tumour around the liver had completely gone. But we wanted to ask, so we did. And we were told that the energies were connected, that this was possible. So this time, whereas in the previous session we were speaking to Caroline's superconsciousness or higher self, this time we were speaking directly with the Council of 12, and we were already there at Divine Source, so we just requested healing from that perspective. They said energies are connected, our energies are connected, the energy is bouncing, there is an issue in the solar plexus. It's caused by sadness and anger. The source was identified. They let Caroline know again what was causing that. This has manifested over many years. And we asked if he understood why it had manifested. Has he learnt the lesson? And they said it was because he was sad. Healing was requested to open his mind if possible, and to heal the physical disease if appropriate and possible. We are scanning, we are looking at the solar plexus, we are sending energy. Needs to spin, it's very heavy. We are realigning it. It's spinning now. And Caroline was saying it was almost pulling it into alignment. It was out of place, and the energies just were bouncing. They needed to pull them in. He needs to learn how to switch off the ego. We asked for a message for him. Let your body do the work it needs to do. Believe. And Caroline wanted to know if her dad should continue with the chemotherapy, so we also asked that. Excuse me. He needs to believe. If he continues, if he believes it will work, it will work. His ego is not able to allow the body to heal on its own. He is fighting, he is in conflict. He wishes the body, he almost believes that it is possible to heal on his own, but not quite. The chemo will help him to believe that he is getting better. He must not give up. It is available to him. We also asked if there was a message for humanity, and this message came through. Live in love. We love you. We are always here. We are a council of light. We are protecting you, and you are not to be afraid. Never be afraid. When you live outside of fear, everything is available to you. Everything that could possibly imagine is available to you, and more. More than you can ever imagine. We love you so much, and we are smiling, and we are making you smile because we are able to do that. They didn't want to leave after the conversation, and they said, but it is not possible for a physical body to remain as a channel for a long time. We will come again, and we will be available when you call us. So then Caroline came for another session. We were having a chat about her dad, and the latest news is that the cancer hasn't grown anymore at all. That's stopped, which is phenomenal news. So this session we really wanted to connect with the Council of 12 Light Beings to get more information for humanity regarding the Ascension. And so at first Caroline could just see light, which for many QHHT practitioners, we see this when people go directly back to Divine Source, so that wasn't surprising there. And then Caroline could feel their energy. She could feel their energy come in, so she didn't go back to a past life this time. They came through. We are guiding Caroline. I asked if they'd worked with her many lifetimes before, and they said yes, we've been through many lifetimes together. And I asked if Caroline was an aspect of the Council of 12, or somebody that was being guided, and they said she is part of us. The connection is very strong. I asked, why are you coming through Caroline at this time? Caroline is able to automatic write, and she receives valuable information. They told me she was sent here to awaken early. Her choices did not allow that to happen as it should have. There were lessons, still lessons to learn. Caroline has learned these lessons now. I asked, how are you helping humanity at this time? We are coming through those that can hear us. There is valuable information. What information is important for humanity at this time? To be happy, to stay light. Do not take things too seriously. Can you give us advice on how we can raise the frequency of the planet? We are all connected to Gaia. The information that we hold can pass through Gaia into you if you stay grounded. The trees also hold this information, and the plants. What's the best way to ground at the moment? I'm aware that there are huge energies coming into the planet, and certainly over the past few weeks, I think ending on the 4th of November, there's been a huge portal that's been opened, so the energies have been absolutely huge. Go outside. That way you are grounded but still connected to the cosmos. To be outside, to touch with hands. You are an antenna. You hold information. We pass information. You can hold it, but you need to pass that information on. It's like a circle with constant movement. And I asked about the portal that's been open for the past few weeks. They told me the portal makes it easier for you. There is more energy amiable at this present time. We feel closer to you. Caroline feels this very closely. There will be others that can also feel us more whilst the portal is open. If they are accessing the right information, it makes the flow easier. How can we access the right information? This is down to the individual. How they conduct themselves. This is how they connect with each other, how they react to each other, how they practice the connection and help that is available to them. Can you describe to me what human ascension looks like? It is love. It is the Garden of Eden. It is green and light and a feeling of lightness and happiness. There is no darkness. There is no heaviness or feeling of want or need. It is connection. All beings are connected in a true way of information that can flow easily. It is beautiful. What is the difference between 3D and 5D? We're often asked to describe this. And at this point, I could feel that the sadness that they felt. 3D is much more dense and much more difficult for connection to actually take place. There is an ignorance in 3D where people are ignoring. They are living in a certain small part of their brain. The light is there. It's sad, like trapped, like being in a prison. All beings are deserving, and it is necessary to find a way through the small part of the brain that is being used to access this light and allow that to shine. That is how we try to help, and this is how the ones that are light, as they shine, sometimes the light that is trapped can recognize this in others, and there is a recognition and a trigger, and sometimes it works. And then it is necessary to keep that small part of the brain from blocking that light out again. There are ways of doing this, and you and Caroline are very aware. Meditation, yoga, being in nature. Why is the ascension process of the planet so important at this time? A huge part of the planet lives in darkness. There is a chance now where survival has become more secondary. There is a small gap in between survival being the most important and distraction taking over. There is a gap we are accessing. That gap before the distraction of technology takes over. There is a chance for humans to be aware before distraction becomes too great. We have tried before. There is much split in humanity. There are many who live in poverty, and there is such love that can be accessed and they are not aware of it. In other parts of humanity, ascension is possible and they must use the gap. How can we help the ascension? How can we help awaken others? It is making humanity aware of the distraction that is taking over. There is too much sitting back into comfort. The comfort can breed ignorance of what is around. It must be sought without the distraction and propaganda of other people's opinions. It must be sought as an individual who has their own connection. Each has their own connection into all the information. It is available to each and everyone. They must find the switch by connecting to the ones that have the light, that they have the access to the light, who have goodness of each other in their hearts and in their lights. They're the ones that can help. Are there others from the Pleiades helping, other angels or star beings or light beings? If you could see how many there are here, you would smile. They all want to talk. They all have much to say. They all have information and they're all waiting to come through. Is there any information that you would like to give humanity at this time? We have all passed through many lifetimes. We have all learned lessons. Please do not waste them. Please become aware of your lessons so that you may move through them. It is for your good. It is for the good of the universe and all. Because we are all one. We are all connected and helping one another. Caroline had a question. She had an episode of missing time in 2007 when she was very poorly and had quite a few hours missing. Can you show her or tell her what happened? This was unexpected. She was with us. The doctors in 3D took too long. The shock was severe. Caroline's ability to heal is part of her, an intrinsic part of her. When the physical body was in shock, it was necessary for Caroline for the light to leave her body. It was possible that the body could not withstand what had happened. The new soul was able to inform the 3D and it was saved. The physical body was saved by the new soul, a strong soul. By new soul, do you mean there was a walk-in? A new soul came in to take over the vessel called Caroline, to complete her mission? Yes, therefore Caroline's body was saved, a strong soul. Is there any more information about that situation that you wish to tell Caroline? Yes, it was unexpected, unforeseen on her journey. It did not therefore facilitate the awakening at the point, and in fact created a new barrier. That lesson had to be learned. We then requested another surrogate session for her father, and the Council of 12 said he is healing nicely. It is possible to connect, yes. We are connecting to his solar plexus. He has light around him now. It is not possible to know if he will ever realize his healing is coming from another dimension. We are connecting and our energy is entering his body. It is possible to help him keep his chakras aligned as it facilitates energy and his connection. It allows information to the cosmos, to divine source and healing. I then asked if there was any final messages for humanity or for those light workers on the ground at the moment working. The message is as follows. Use your gifts. Become aware of your gifts. Use them for good. Helping others can quicken your enlightenment. There are many ways of helping others. Touch them with your light. You never know when it will trigger. I'm hoping to do an interview with Caroline over the next few weeks, so that's something really exciting to look forward to. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you resonated with some of the messages there, and I look forward to seeing you next time. With so much love and gratitude, namaste.